everyone to another episode of Is It Worth It? And today I review one of my favorite newly discoveries thanks to a buddy of mine called Dark Souls. Well, this one's Dark Souls 2 for the Xbox 360. I hope you guys enjoy the show, and please don't forget to share the video and subscribe. When I first played the original Dark Souls, I didn't think I'd get into it, especially since it's not like your average game. But then, for that same comparison, it stands out as its own unique experience, but it's an experience not many wish to go through. Labeled as one of the hardest games out there, I wondered if Dark Souls 2 would carry its reputation, and for the most part, yeah, it does. Although it's a sequel, it does very little to anything really to carry a continuing storyline, which is good for new players since there won't be any confusion of anything you could have missed. Very much the same like the original Dark Souls, this one has very little narrative to guide you through the game's story. In fact, much of the story is told by the NPCs in the game, who tell tales of days of the past, and that somehow an incredible curse has fallen upon the land. If you pay attention, each story from each NPC is important to piece together quite a legendary story about what happened to their land. But let me tell you my impressions. The environments of Dark Souls 2 are awesome. Not only do they feel very outwardly, but something out of nightmares and fairy tales. From very foggy forests to deep dark caverns. From magnificent brilliant cathedrals to haunted castles. These guys definitely stepped up their imagination with eerie, scary, and fantastic realms. Unlike the first Dark Souls where it almost immediately has you face off a boss, this one actually seems to be a slower pace to allow newcomers to get familiar with the controls. The training ground has been extended, and instead of facing a boss immediately after, you are instead led to a town called Majula, the main area and center place of the world of Dark Souls 2. It is here where you'll be returning to a lot, especially to level up, since there is only one person in the game that can make that happen, the Emerald Herald. Here is also where all the NPCs you meet out in the different areas eventually come to sell goods and anything you may need or want for your quest. There is also full customization of your character. You pick gender, body type, class, and gift. Picking a class in the start doesn't necessarily mean that you end up with that type throughout the game. It's only a starting point for a particular class that you may want to build, but during gameplay you can grow and add points to specific attributes to build your desired strengths. Dark Souls 2 is a multiplayer game with single player experience. Most of the time you're exploring the world by yourself, but you can also ask for help from the community or other players in the servers by activating summon signs. This brings other players into your game to help you clear out an area or even take out the bosses within the different realms. Once the boss of that area has been destroyed, they are automatically returned to their game, leaving you alone once again, but the process can be repeated. Along with players who want to help, there are also those who wish to invade you and try to kill you. This is the darker side of Dark Souls series, as these invaders, as I like to call them, usually attack when you are busy fighting other creatures. Whether they are dark spirits or just another player, it's always the wrong place at the wrong time. That's not to say that if your skills are not high enough that you can't teach them a lesson for invading you in the first place. Music and ambience in the game are terrific, and the scenery are impressive. This game definitely delivers in both sound and visuals. The experience of this game can only be felt. You have to earn your place in Dark Souls as a true warrior. The game doesn't make you a winner, like most games do with very little to lose when you die. When you die in this game, you feel the disappointment and frustration in the most rawest form. Only you can make yourself a true winner by going balls in and giving it everything you got with you and your companions. You can be victorious and you feel it too. The satisfaction in this game is bar none exhilarating to say the least, as each win brings you closer to the game's conclusion, but more significantly, you as the gamer an extraordinary sense of accomplishment and achievement. Also, in my opinion, I think Dark Souls 2 has been made a little too easy to beat. And I'm not saying that the game itself is too easy, but that having opportunity to bring in two other gamers into a boss battle can be overwhelming for the boss, that sometimes it doesn't stand a chance. Not every boss is made equally though, because some bosses can handle 3 players and very well too. I'm just saying, I had harder times in Dark Souls 1. Now, I have people tell me sometimes, like, well, you don't need to invite other people into the game. But it's kind of hard not to, especially when you see the summon signs on the floor. You can't help it. You always have to call in for reinforcements. There is a huge amount of inventory to collect. Much of it is for your tools that you will be using, like for weapon and armor upgrades, or magic or edible boosting supplements. Each weapon has its own unique type of automated execution. You don't have to learn them, but you do have to have the right amount of points in the respective attributes to properly wield them in order to cause the most damage. The combat can be a little iffy sometimes. You can't strike and counterattack most humanoid beings, even parry them to return some massive damage. Evading an attack doesn't always guarantee an escape from being hit, and sometimes you swear the character has avoided your command during an intense battle. Like you pressed to jump away, but the character did one more swing of the sword and it has exhausted himself from evading the incoming attack, causing you severe damage or even death. There is a balance that you must teach yourself to learn how to proper handle your weapon. Learn how much you can swing your sword before you exhaust your stamina meter is very important. I say stick with one weapon, learn how much to effectively use its full potential and keep upgrading it and add unique powers or abilities to cause some serious damage.
All people come here for the same reason, to break the curse. You're no different, I should think. Doesn't stand a chance. Well, you never know. Go through the door and trot along to the kingdom. But remember, hold on to your souls. They're all that keep you from going hollow. Oh, I'll fool you no longer. You lose your souls. All of them. Over and over again.
So is Dark Souls 2 worth your time and money? With an addicting mystery to the question of what's around the next corner sort of gameplay, the combat is fun and difficult. It requires patience and focus. You need to relax your senses and above all be calm. An inviting multiplayer experience where whomever you summon is always very happy to help you and so very gallant to where they bow for a fight well done. Beautiful sceneries from dark and scary to the brilliant and wonderful. I have to say also the creature designs are also very unique and extraordinary. The replayability of this game is a guaranteed high with at least 2 or 3 playthroughs of over 100 hours of gameplay, each raising the levels of difficulty with New Game Plus, and you get to keep everything you'd earned from the previous games. Now I'm giving an opinion as a fan of the series that this game is worth its full retail price of $59.99. It's money well spent for the experience and its content. This is a full game that delivers on high replayability with a full reward of satisfaction from each boss battle. I understand this game may not be for everybody, but even those people, I encourage you to give this one a chance. Get a co-op buddy and I guarantee you guys to have a great time. Have you guys played Dark Souls 2? If you have, who was your favorite boss or creature in the game? I like the elephant soldiers and Drangliak. They looked amazing and intimidating. I hope they release statues based on these creatures. Who would you like to own as a statue for your collection? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you guys are interested, here are the opinions of other websites. Alright, that's another review, and if you guys enjoyed it, please hit that like button, and if you want to leave me any feedback or suggestions, leave it in the comments below. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you pick up a free subscription for future episodes, and I'd really appreciate it if you guys would support the channel by sharing the videos to all of your social networks. Again, my name is Rox, and I'll play with you guys next time. Hello everyone, Rox here with a message that I want your support for this channel. Help me reach 100,000 subscribers by 2015, and we can do this by sharing my reviews, rants, and commentaries on every social media on the web. All you need to do is share, like, comment, and make sure to subscribe. It's free, fast, and easy. You guys, sincerely in advance, I want to say thank you for your support and encouragement to keep coming back, because you never know when I'll be putting something else up that you might like. Again, you guys, don't forget to share the video and subscribe. My name is Rox, and I'll see you guys next time.